butt lifts or boob implants, or you tend to be dumber anyways. I can talk about my own sex. Gun magazines, not pornos.
Do you think vehicles in the future will be half gas, half electric?
What's up, everyone? This is Devin.
And I'm Tori.
And we're back for another episode of Sweet Wine in the Bike Shop.
Woohoo.
So, let's say, I know we've been putting out weekly, but we haven't recorded one in a couple weeks. So, burning through the ones we had banked up.
Yeah, our schedules were getting a little busy.
So, today we're going to do, I don't know, I was looking for some debatable topics. And so this one, we're going to start off with some health debate topics. So, first one, should healthcare be universal?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I think it's stupid how insurance gets to play the role in how you get your care.
Yeah. So, like, my opinion on this, and my idea or solution is you have a public free healthcare system that the government pays for. You know, a doctor coming out of school might have to start there for a little bit and then eventually could transition over to his own practice or something like that. And once he has so many years. Or, you know, kind of your residency doctors could get their time in at the public healthcare service, and then they could go off and start their own practice or do their own practice stuff. Because if I have money and want to pay for a better care of doctor, I feel like I should be able to do that.
I agree.
And we kind of have that now with places that have their own practice and stuff. It's just your insurance don't cover. So I think, yep, you can have free, 100% free healthcare. You know, if you're just looking to go get, you know, you have the sniffles and just want something, you know, help with that, you can go there. But then when it comes to a major surgery or something like that, you can use what's still free, or you could look for a better surgeon, you know, someone and that I think would allow for doctors that, you know, again, are worth more. They've had more surgeries done. You know, they can open up their own practice, do their own thing.
Yeah.
And you know, that world. So that's what I would say with universal health care. Should there be some? Yes. But I don't think every doctor should have to have a universal free health care and get the money from the state.
Right. I agree with that.
Cosmetic products should be covered by health insurance.
I think it's cosmetic procedures.
Oh, cosmetic procedures. Sorry.
So if you're getting like a brush reduction, or you're getting like a nose job, or
butt lifts or boob implants, or
I think yes, because, and I hate how insurance want to argue that for women who are bigger chested that they get back pains because there's so much weight in the front that their back can't compensate. And the insurance will argue that they will not cover it because it's just a cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. Well, it's like normally you got to fight for like if you lose a bunch of weight, if you're 400 pounds and lose it, and
yes,
you have that extra flab of skin to have like a tummy tuck done where they cut that flab off, you normally have to fight insurance on something like that, even though there is health issues with that flab rubbing and you know, stuff like that. And right now with our current healthcare system, you know, it almost causes us to be more obese because they don't educate well on health and nutrition and how bad, you know, certain things are for you. So I guess, yeah, I am on I guess some should, some shouldn't type of deal.
If you're trying to look like Barbie, then probably not. But if you are trying to get like the tummy tuck or...
But where do you go? Because, okay, I'm on the obese side. Technically, it's bad for my health to be obese. I could go get a tummy tuck, and then now I'm not fat, I'm not obese. So should insurance have to pay for that?
What does that have to do with?
That's a cosmetic procedure that if we say that should be covered, and they wouldn't know a difference between me, because they're not going to come and look at me and go, oh, you lost a bunch of weight, you know, you have the extra flab skin, and so let's go do it.
Isn't that the same thing as like getting that sleeve or the gastric surgery?
I mean, yeah, but it's not a cosmetic surgery.
No.
So you're saying I would have to get the sleeve or something.
I just know.
So, but again, what if I just lost a bunch of weight? You know, if I lost 200 pounds on my own.
Then yeah, you would have that.
Because I feel like insurance are almost a little bit more understanding of the skin thing. If someone does get one of those, sleeves put in, or has a type of surgery that helps them lose weight, they're almost more understanding of, okay, yep, you're gonna have the skin. But when someone themselves actually does the work and put in the time and lose the weight on their own, they tend to, I feel, be less likely to cover that.
Yeah.
So I guess I still think it's a circumstance. That's thing, because again, I'm obese. Technically, it'd help me to go have a tummy tuck done, and so, or I'm sure I could think of other ones. I was just trying to think of another quick one, but I couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
Well, this was another thing I was going to ask too. So, like the nose surgery or any facial surgeries, do they consider that cosmetic if you've been like in an accident or, like you got hit in the face with a baseball and it broke, like it shattered your nose or shattered your face? Or...
Yeah. Well, if it's life threatening, then you can normally get those covered.
Okay.
Again, and if it's life threatening.
I didn't want to offend anybody, but
no. We'll jump to should the drinking age be 18?
No.
Why?
Because even though that is the legal age of being an adult, I don't feel that drinking should be at 18.
Man, when do you think you should be able to drink then?
Probably like when you're 20. So you're younger.
I'm thinking more like...
I don't see your teens as you should start drinking, but...
23 or 25 is where I put it.
You do?
No, I actually move it up. Because females' brain typically doesn't stop developing until about 23, and guys don't stop developing until 25. Now, you can't age discriminate. You go, girls, you can go drink at 23 since your brain stopped growing, and guys can, start drinking when they're 25. That would be just, sexist then at that point.
Yeah. Let's not be sexist.
But so I would put the age limit higher. 23, I guess I'd probably go with, just to be kind of fair. I mean, guys, your brain is still growing, but you tend to be dumber anyways.
You're so nice to your
I
sex.
I can talk about my own sex. I just think back to being, and even at 25, 3 years ago is a big difference.
Yeah.
I say that's probably when I did most of my growing up, is within the last 3 years.
What? You're admitting that?
Vaping should be banned.
Yeah.
I don't think you should ban it, but I do think that it should be considered like smoking and not be allowed in public places. Like,
it's just really annoying that
kids just for the fact of, again, the annoyance of the smoke in the air and stuff, and just that kind of, if smoking's banned, I think vaping should be banned in that same area.
We all know you kids in high school smoke in the bathroom, so.
Yeah. Smoking should be banned in all public places.
Yeah. Vaping and...
I would say yes, for the most part. I don't know. I guess there's some, if it was a bar that they did not serve food, they did not have like a restaurant, but you got to have some type of food. So I guess the closest one would be like Blanchard, or, they just have popcorn because they have to offer some type of food.
Yeah.
So, but they don't have an actual kitchen or anything. Something like smoking in there, I mean, you're going there to drink, I don't see anything wrong with smoking in an environment like that. Now, if there's food where, there could be a chance, with food, tend to bring in families, come eat, even if it's at a bar, if it's called a bar. Or I, think that then that should be, if you're serving food, then the smoking needs to be gone, the vaping as well.
Yeah.
But if it's a bar that just is alcohol, well, then bring in the let vaping.
I can see where you're going with that.
So I guess I'd be a no to all public places, but I would say most.
Yeah.
People should be legally required to get vaccines.
No. It's your body, Your choice.
I feel like you didn't push it before, but when you were like in medical school and stuff, you were a little bit more like people need to make sure they're vaccinating their kids and stuff like that, because we can almost, if everyone would just get vaccinated, we could kill some of these old diseases.
I wasn't like that.
There was like a time where you were talking like I think it was like smallpox or something. Like if everyone just got vaccinated for smallpox, we would wipe out the disease.
Okay, I was probably really ignorant, but now that I've been open to other opinions and seeing what, not everyone can have the vaccine because they're allergic to the ingredients, or they can have a bad reaction to it. So
Yeah.
I'm more understanding.
Well, and that's what everyone. You should never be diehard in your position, I guess. You should always be willing to be open and understand someone else's point of view on something and be willing to change if they, provide valid points. And, I mean, you can still finish at the end of the day of, nope, I'm going to believe in my opinion, you're going to believe in your opinion, we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But there's going to be times where you're going to have an opinion on something, get new facts presented to you, and go, you know what, you're right. I should change my point of view to your side. And then there's going to be things where, after explaining your facts, they may come to your side of point of view. But we've just lost that view, I feel like, in society so much. It's always just play the victim.
Well, and going back to what you had said, yes, because I know a lot of people who do work in the healthcare and they think the same way. Everybody should be vaccinated. And it's like, okay, maybe you should step out of that and see that's not the case. Like,
we'll jump to, since I said obesity earlier, should obesity be labeled as a disease?
It's tricky.
Yes. Well, I don't think it's tricky. I think it's this. Obesity is a disease, but we do not need to calculate obesity scale off of the BMI scale.
Agreed.
I think you need to actually go in and have a DEXA scan done to tell you actually how much fat you have on your body.
I agree. I think they do need to do away with the BMI. It is not accurate. And I actually know somebody who's lost over 50 pounds, and she got the tummy tuck, and the BMI was telling her she was still obese, but she was a healthy, weight, and she's just looking at the doctor like, really? And they're just like, well, that's what the BMI says.
Yeah. I mean, that's... I don't know. I guess, I would want to know, has bone density changed over time? Like, are bones becoming more brittle? Are they becoming, stronger? Is there a different weight to them? I mean, we can't really I guess unless doctors are pulling out leg bones and when they amputate a leg or something, start weighing them to see if there's a difference. But
I think
that'd be something that have to be tracked.
I'm sure, males different than females, and height differences too.
Yeah. Sexual orientation is determined at birth.
Ooh, this is gonna get you fired up.
I say yes.
You do?
Yeah. Until you're a legal and adult, whatever your biological sex is, it's gonna be your sex. Once you turn 25, because I think an adult's basically 25, or 23. I guess 23 is what I said. I said middle ground between men and female. So 23, until you're 23, you can't change that on any legal document or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You should agree? You don't have anything to add in?
I just was laughing because I know we had talked about this before, and you got pretty fired up the last time.
They're just dumb things that people are trying to pass.
I agree.
Because we can't use common sense anymore in this world.
No, we can't.
The sale of human organs should be legalized. Isn't it kind of, though? Can't you, donate?
That's not a sale, though. They're not buying your organs. You're donating.
Oh, true.
That's a gray area.
Yeah, because if you started a kidney, versus donating, we'll get, you get $10,000 for donating your kidney or something like that. You're going to have people killing people and harvesting their kidneys. I mean, that I guess already happens on the black market.
I was going to say, isn't the black market a thing?
Yeah. So
I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no. I would keep it a donation thing. I'm sure there's people out there who, are rich and will be like, hey, I'll give you X amount to donate your kidney to me since you're a match, my blood type already.
Yep.
And they get the money and then sign afterwards. So for birth control should be for sale over the counter.
I think pill-wise,
Like, yeah, if you want to go into
I don't
and buy a
think
pill.
the depot shot should be, because that's sketchy. Actually, I think they should ban that to begin with. And the IUD, I don't know how you're going to get the IUD in here, so
Yeah, so it'd be a pill form.
I would say the pill should be.
So any female should be able to walk into a pharmacy and go, I want birth control, and hand it to me. I mean, don't you kind of already have that option? Because you can go to like Planned Parenthood and talk with a physician.
But you're going to a clinic. You're not going to like a pharmacy, like a Rite Aid or
exactly. I
like
feel,
a Walgreens.
I feel like taking a pill that's going to affect your hormones should definitely be talked with a doctor before just going in and buying whatever one you want.
Well, you could probably, how they have a generic brand for everything. They could have a generic brand for birth control.
But it's still going to affect your hormones. That's how it stops the pregnancy.
And you don't think like painkillers affect your body?
I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about hormones.
Hormones are in your body.
Yes.
So yes, it is.
But still do not think you should just be able to go in and walk in and buy one.
You are not a female, so you wouldn't understand.
No, I wouldn't. But if they offered a contraceptive, well, actually, they're working on a contraception pill for a guy, and it's supposed to be way more effective.
Be over the counter.
No, I'm sure you're gonna still go to a doctor and they're gonna explain, okay, what this is doing to you, or at least they should be. Yeah.
When it comes out and they're like, "Oh, it's over the counter for men," because that's how it goes. I'm gonna be like, "Told you so."
And yeah, you're funny because it's not gonna happen like that. I know I'm right, so.
Oh, okay.
But no, it should not be sold over the counter. Mm-hmm. You should have to go see someone about it, because it's not because it's getting filtered through your kidney or getting filtered through your liver then like a painkiller.
How come is Plan B able to get? How come you can get Plan B?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that seems like a little sketchy thing too.
Yeah,
but they probably are willing to do. Insurance companies are willing to do that because if someone made a mistake, they can just go take Plan B and be good. Personally, that's way overpriced.
You think? But that's how they make their money, because you're like, oh, oops.
Because I've heard it. Isn't it like up to it's got to have gone up since, everything else has gone up. So I bet you it's probably $60, $70 for the stupid thing now.
Wasn't it like 50?
I don't know. I don't remember. All right. Well, that's all I got for the health debate topics. Unless you can think of any other health.
No,
related.
I thought those were good topics to talk and debate about.
We'll jump into some technology debate topics.
See, you might be better at this because you're a little more tech savvy than I am.
Yeah. Social media has improved human communicate. Goodness, I can't talk. Improved human communication.
It has, but it's made people more mean.
It's provided ways for us to communicating at a distance.
Yes.
But it has not improved human communication overall.
No, because you could see somebody and not talk to them and face to face, but you could chat with them all you want on.
Well, not even that. It's like, like my grandma lives on the east side. It's like with technology, we've been able to, she can see the pictures like it's posted on Facebook and stuff like that. So she feels a little bit more connected in that way. Hey, and then, we call her.
Yeah.
And so it's like with that, it
helps,
that
but
helps,
it doesn't.
But it hasn't improved the communication because back in the day, we probably would have drove over a lot more times and seen her.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say no.
Yeah.
The development of artificial intelligence will help humanity.
The development of
So artificial intelligence is basically a computer that's as smart as a human or smarter. So
no.
they're getting computers that can start to write their own code and tell itself to do something new that it wasn't able to do before.
If anything, it's going to make us more stupid.
There'll be goods and bads to it. Everyone, the movie Terminator is basically what, artificial intelligence, it becomes smarter than us. And like iRobot, the system became smarter than the humans and realized in order to protect most human life, some human life must die. And so, they try to go out and like kill the low lives is what their main plan is, and just anyone that's kind of inconvenienced.
Mm-hmm.
So, but will they be beneficiaries? Yeah, because a computer's going to learn things that we wouldn't know how to do yet.
Yeah.
Probably from like an engineer standpoint, a robotic standpoint, even by medical standpoints, they might, figure out, hey, you've entered in all these diseases, it could be one of these related things, kind of kick out, options for how to treat people.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals should own their own DNA. I guess I don't know. This one's tricky because I don't know the rules with DNA. I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it's in your body, so you should own it, right? But like you said, we don't know the policies. And if there are policies, I feel like that's kind of stupid because...
Well, I wonder one of the reasons why I've never done the 23andMe, or I can't remember what some of the other companies are, where that you send your DNA in and they tell you come back and go, oh, you're this nationality, they'll list off, what nationalities you'll come back, is because then you're in their database. They have the right to keep your DNA in their database. And so that's how, some people have been caught criminal-wise. If you do something criminal, well, they can catch you that way because you're in that database, and they can use that database even if your fingerprints have never been filed in the police station or anything like that.
Yep.
So I'm guessing it's something along that standpoint of if you submit your DNA to something, then they can't hold it or keep a database.
Yeah.
I would say yes to that. But at the same time, I feel like even if there was a rule like that, that's not going to get held in place.
No.
They're still going to keep it. Humans should invest in technology to explore and colonize other planets. Colonize, sorry. Colonialize.
Colonial.
I don't even know if that's a word.
I don't think it is.
I'm going to have to Google it.
I prefer not.
Why?
Because I think of...
You don't think someday we're going to live on Mars?
I think of Battleship when they sent a signal out and they accidentally got these aliens that wanted to kill people.
We send out signals all the time trying to find other life. Because if we found some other life that can come here, hopefully we can use their technology to be able to travel, because they're going to be able to travel at light years versus, we can just barely get over the sound barrier.
I just don't think that's a good idea. Or if they do it, hopefully I'm dead.
Maybe we'll have to do an alien episode sometime.
Oh, please no.
My opinion, I guess, Onyx, I didn't really give it. I say yes. I think we should look at figuring out at least one of the planets closer or something, in case someone decides to hit the nuclear button and everything goes up. Hopefully we'd have some people on another planet.
Yeah.
Starting to get it developed so that way, if something crazy happens here. Governments should invest in alternative energy sources.
I do feel we need some alternative, but it just...
I have a strong opinion on this. And
why don't you go? Because
mine's nuclear. I think a couple nuclear plants, the amount... So the fail-safes that have caused for meltdowns in the past versus the fail-safes we have now on stuff like that is like 10 times, 20 times better. Or so for a failure to happen and is really, really unlikely. I mean, unless someone, bombs it, that way or something, then it could cause issues. But even then, they've come up with plans and strategies for if someone was to drive a car bomb into the nuclear base, they still have fail-safes to, stop it and prevent it from melting down. So nuclear, a bar of nuclear energy about that big, it could sustain the energy we need in our home for the rest of our lives. And
I
so,
wish someone would.
the amount of space and energy that a bar like this takes up for us versus the amount of fossil fuel needed versus the amount of solar energy that can be provided versus the amount of wind energy versus what's the other one? They have water or hydro.
Yep.
Oh, it's kind of another big one. That's kind of currently used, biggest one. And so nuclear is the most, if you're looking for an energy efficient way to provide energies to all, versus, or not versus, but based on how much waste is done, and it is definitely the best option, in my opinion. Do we need to come up with something? Yes, but nuclear is the way to go.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Agree.
What's vibrating?
Phone is like freaking out.
Yeah, someone's trying to call me. Net neutrality should be restored. I'm guessing that's in an energy aspects. Like, should we try to reverse our carbon? This game putting the, I don't know, because again with the whole I don't believe. It's not that I don't believe in the ideology of like we're putting more carbon in the air, so it's global warming. If you look at based on this is kind of coming from more I think of like a geology standpoint of weather erosion and stuff like that in places, that the amount of that we're tracking now of how much carbon they can put in the air every year is identical to what it's been over the last 100 million years. However long it's been around. Basically, they said there's always these growths coming up. There's a big ice age, and then it thaws out, and then slowly warms back up. And so, I would say, it'd probably be good if we wanted to look at something like that for the aspect of preventing an ice age. But it's like, what is it going to kill too? At the same time, if we don't have this ice age, that means obviously whatever's killed in that ice age and whatever plants die off and come back from it. So there's probably goods and bads to it, but
what do they say? Survival of the fittest.
Yeah. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies should be encouraged, or should they be banned?
I don't know these very well, so you'd have to.
I think they're a good thing. Personally, I think. I guess this is the tricky part, because the thing that backs it, the idea behind it is basically I guess I'm not super nerdy. The government's trying to control it, and that's the whole point of cryptocurrency, is that the government won't control. Like, the government's talking about putting their old digital currency out there, or that, but it's centralized by the government, so the government's going to control what it's worth.
Yep.
So where Bitcoin is all controlled by, what's been mined and used, and, is out there, availability based on almost like a stock of some sorts that control the price a little bit. So the demand for it causes for, or what the price is set at. So I think it's a good thing. I think the ideas behind the blockchain itself, and I don't completely understand all this stuff, but I like the idea that the blockchain could be used to not necessarily a lot of people look at it as like a digital asset. So like in a video game, that you own this piece of property in your video game, well, that's what a lot of people are looking at. I think we should be using the blockchain for more of, you can set up ownership in like a video game type of thing, but that's our actual world. And so like when we buy a property versus it getting sent to the county to record a mortgage or the deed in our name, to put our names on the property, to then if someone wanted to know who owns this property, they have to go to call the county and get that. Wouldn't it be nice if you can just open up your phone on the app and go, hey, this so-and-so owns this, and then go hand them, and they can write, you can write them a check, and they can transfer ownership. They could sign on the blockchain that okay, you bought this property from me, transaction it over. Probably why one of the reasons why governments don't want something like that to happen is because now they're going to lose out on the recording fees of recording a deed or whatever. They're not going to get the little fees for that.
Yep.
when it can be all handled by like a decentralized platform.
See, I knew that was more up your alley because I don't know Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies very well.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where alternative energy completely replaces fossil fuels?
Isn't that what they're trying to accomplish right now?
That's what they're pushing for, but it's dumb because that will never completely get rid of fossil fuels. Plus, I don't want to give up my gas engines and dirt bikes and four-wheelers and snowmobiles and the fun toys. And then I always love enjoy, like, I wouldn't mind having like a...
I'm sorry, but electric comes from fossil fuels.
Yeah, if your electric vehicles are going to come, but, say they do eventually get to the point where they have enough energy that's not come, or that they could shut fossil fuels off.
Solar can go so far, but, excuse me, you have to have a sunny day like every freaking day.
That, and so like a lot of people point to the idea of like Texas, the turbines, freezing all up and the reason why they had power outages from that freezing up and not spinning and not working is because they got rid of their fossil fuel, basically fail-safe system. So normally you would have fossil fuels burning to provide your energy, whereas they had the wind, and so they stopped using their fossil fuels and didn't have any there. Where if you had fossil fuels sitting there or being used every now and then to just kind of recycle the system, all of a sudden all your wind turbines do go down. Bam, you can switch over to fossil fuels, and bam, you're staying online with your power. You don't have to shut people off because your wind turbines freeze.
Yeah.
So, cell phone radiation is dangerous and should be limited.
Isn't this partially a myth?
No, they say like, hey, reason why there's like testicular issues and stuff is from guys carrying their phones in the front pocket and stuff like that.
Oh.
Then yeah, just the radiation. Like you shouldn't sleep with your phone in your same room.
No.
You shouldn't have Wi-Fi in your room. You should basically build a box, completely no lights, that's at 63 degrees, and you can lay in there and sleep. It's completely dark, no sound at all. 63 degrees.
He's attacking me because I sleep with a fan and I have a heater, but I have been putting my phone on Do Not Disturb at night. So,
well, at least your phone's not vibrating, but you shouldn't have it in your room because it's definitely the worst place for it. They say for anyone is on a nightstand by your head.
But yeah, that's where both of them are at.
Well, yeah, because what do we use as an alarm? Our phones.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to be close by us.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this topic before. When should kids be introduced to tablets and phones, and what age do you think you should be allowed to get your first phone?
Why do you want to talk about this?
I want to hear your opinions. I know we're different on it.
I think when they start sports where they're traveling and it's not like they get a freaking iPhone, it's a track phone.
It's understandable. No, I think you got to prove that you could be reliable with that phone and stuff before you get like an iPhone or a smartphone of some sort. iPad usage. Just usage, not they get their own.
I personally wouldn't have our kid on it right now, but I see that's out the window already, so.
Nope, and it's all educational or drawing are the two things he does when we're on it. And it's not long, it's at the max is like an hour. And then we're off to doing something else. And it's not like we're using it. See, I think the iPads and the technology gets a bad rap because parents use it to babysit their kids. It is where the bad rap comes from. And when parents use it to babysit kids, then kids become dependent on that, needing that, will get upset if they can't have it at the dinner table or can't have it at a restaurant because they're used to, they don't want to have conversation with their parents. Their parents don't want to have conversation with them, so they just throw an iPad in front of them and make them watch a movie or something on there or play games.
Mm-hmm.
Games. Like, anytime I've let Cole on my iPad, it's because I'm there with him. We're drawing together typically, or I'm helping him or showing him and stuff like that.
Yep.
or we're playing like a learning game, ABCs, math. We've done a couple of those. So I think, can they be exposed to it at a young age? Yes. Do they need their own? No. Parents can have one, and it's the parents. And it's like we kind of have.
Some parents, I think, need time limits.
Oh, yeah? Do you think we need time limits?
I do think we do.
Yes and no. I think we're conscious of when he's around. We're not on it, not paying attention to him. We might check it or something, but I don't think we get lost into it. We're only playing with him, in my opinion.
Here and there, but there have been times.
I'm sure there's been times where it's like
for both of us, not just
we
you,
start
not
looking
just...
at something and okay, we get stuck into it and lose track of what we're doing. But
yeah,
for the most part, I would say it would do well of making sure that
if more people can prove to me of what you just said, I may have a better understanding of it. But I have seen it be neglected and, like you said, using as a babysitting tool.
Yeah.
So it makes me not want to.
Yeah, that's where I think the bad rap comes from, because everyone knows technology is part of lives. So when does it become you're doing a kid a disservice? You're actually putting him at a learning disadvantage, because when he gets to school, he's going to be using iPads. He's going to be using computers. If they're not exposed to that before getting to school, well, I feel that's putting them at a disadvantage. Just like you should start math prior to the school going in. I remember every summer my mom getting me like math books and stuff kind of going into my next grade. So that way I would start looking at the math problems and things like that. We'd get English books too, and we were supposed to read, but I didn't pay attention to those because math was easy for me. I liked math. It was easy. So I remember doing those things and being provided those things, which at the time, tablets weren't available. Where we'll be able to do that with Cole is, okay, your tablet time is an hour, and we're going to do math today on it. We're going to do reading. You can read on the tablet. Because magazines I don't ever see magazines and books becoming completely obsolete, but it's becoming a nostalgic thing. Like the prices of books have increased because they don't print as many, because they're printing more digital and audiobooks. Audiobooks are becoming huge. So books are going to become a nostalgic thing, kind of like a vinyl record. You used to build a vinyl record for, cents, dollars, and now it's a nostalgic thing. So now the price has gone up to $20, $30 for a vinyl record.
Yep.
So I think books are going to become that way too. And magazines, we're already seeing where it's digital is the way to go. For that. And then you got options like Apple News that provides magazines. They have books in there. They have you can get all your newspapers in there. So
I hope books don't disappear completely, because it's been nice. Like, I didn't really go to the public library when I was a kid, so taking Cole has been like really cool, and just seeing like all the different books they have. And
I don't think they'll become obsolete, and I think the library is a really good tool to be able to rent the books. But again, if you write a book, why would you, if you're only going to sell, or maybe you only print enough to send to all the libraries so people can rent your book from a library if they want, and then the rest are going to be digital. So I think books are going to become a thing where if you want to actually read a book, you got to go to the library and rent it out.
mm-hmm.
I mean, some people like to buy books and have a full library of themselves, and
yep.
Some people like that feel. Like magazines, because I hated reading books when I was a kid. I liked magazines, one, because there's pictures in there, but I would still read a full big article, a 2,000-word article out of this magazine section, and so I like the feel of having actual magazines and stuff. And then there's even some that are controversial magazines, and like gun magazines, not pornos. So like gun magazines. Like,
I didn't know where you were going with this.
I just wanted to clarify that it's, when I say controversial, it's not pornograph magazines. It's gun magazines, because like Apple don't like, they're kind of like, I don't want to call them. I guess they probably have shown more anti-gun than actual gun stuff. So it's kind of one of those things that's like, okay, I feel like because of these, they're harder to find digital platforms, and you got to pay almost individually, and they got to host their own website for their own digital platform, where it's more expensive to do something like that. Where if you could be part of a big group, it's typically cheaper. So
Yeah, I agree.
there's things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got any other controversial topics?
Do you think vehicles in the future will be half gas, half electric?
I think that's, see, the problem is there's such a big push for electric. I'm going to say no, because we're seeing all these companies like Dodge is getting rid of the Challenger and Charger to make, basically it looks kind of like a Challenger, but is 100% electric. Mustang just got rid of, they're no longer making their gas engines. Now you can buy the Shelby GT 500 Mustang in a gas motor, but other than that, you cannot get any other version of the.
I just don't like that they're pushing for electric, because these cars are not cheaper.
Well, and like people have noticed, like in cold environments, it takes longer to charge, and your battery dies quicker. Like I wouldn't mind.
Michigan, it's cold.
Yep, I wouldn't mind an electric car for just driving back and forth to work, because I'm close to work. It's not a long drive or anything like that. So for me to drive, the 20 miles a day that I do back and forth to work.
If I'm still working on the farm, though, I need gas, because it's still cold at 3 a.m. and my car's not gonna move if it's cold.
Yeah. So there's that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be what I'd use a electric vehicle for, but like pulling my camper and stuff, that would kill the gas mileage on like the Ford truck that just came out. And I know GMC I think is coming out with one, and Chevy's probably coming out with one.
Didn't we just watch a commercial about the electric one, and it was saying, yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, I feel like that's not gonna work.
You just wouldn't be able to go very far. Once you hook up, like I noticed my gas mileage drops from 20 miles a gallon down to 5 when I pull my camper, and it's like, okay, if my gas, I can put 30 gallons in my tank, so I'm getting like 600 miles. Whereas a car or the truck, I think it's like at most you're getting 300. So you're getting, and then take that down to a third. So now you're gonna get 100 miles. Every 100 miles, you're gonna have to stop with pulling a camper.
Yeah.
To be able to try to charge. It's just not gonna work.
No.
You need, at that point, you're gonna need like solar charge on the top of your vehicle if you're driving and it's sunny out, or like get back charge on your batteries from your brakes or something. Like I'm surprised they don't have that stuff calculated into help. And maybe they already do have all that in there, and that's what giving you the 300 miles to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
Do you see supplies and whatnot becoming harder to find, even if inflation corrects itself?
Inflation yes, we can slow inflation and not make it as bad. And we're doing everything wrong for that, in my opinion. But, the idea is that, yeah, we raise rates to get people to stop borrowing money. And I just think people from this pandemic situation and the extra inflow of money that people had gotten, and just overall, like, people were spending like crazy and buying things like crazy, taking out loans and stuff like crazy. And I think they're still used to that aspect of being able to come and get a loan and it being fairly cheap still. Well, they haven't noticed the effects on, of the rates yet. And I guess that's normal. When rates start changing, you don't see that effect for another 2 years. So in the next 2 years, yes, I think there's going to be supply issues because of there was such a shortage on supplies and such a backlog of orders that what orders did stay in the books and that the companies didn't cancel, are going to have to fulfill those orders. They're now going to be losing money to fulfill the orders because prices have gone up on so many things.
Yeah.
Things is kind of how I look at it. And then new orders are going to be at an astronomical high that
I just cringe hearing people and myself like grocery shop and 5 items cost $100.
You'll see crime going up in the next 2 years. You're going to see the prices of everything going to be still, staying high, or if not higher. There's going to be shortages on things, and it's going to be necessity things. It's going to be food and shortage and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because with everything that's happened, they've had issues with, just I think some farms and stuff like that some of the big farms have had some issues with things, just trying to find help, and then if you don't have the help in time, you end up not getting the crops out of the field.
Yep.
And then it's no good crops and stuff like that. So, with the shortage of workers, I guess not work, because there's plenty of work available. It's going to cause issues.
Yeah.
That's all I got, I think, for this one. I don't think I have any more topics to debate. At least not today.
I think you liked it.
I talked a lot, I feel. I feel you didn't talk very much.
I mean,
You gotta learn to be controversial here.
well, like I said, there was a lot of things I didn't know. So it was hard for me. It's hard for me to exchange my opinions when I don't know certain things.
I think it's because
and like you had said prior to when we started dating and getting engaged that I needed to be more open-minded. So I am trying to be more open-minded.
Well, yeah, be open-minded and be always learning, I guess, would be, if you're going to take anything away, because that's what I do. I'm always listening, always reading, always trying to find something now.
We may get into like some pretty heated arguments, but in the end, I do listen.
We haven't really, at least not on the podcast.
No, I just mean like in general.
Yeah. But, so if I can give advice to anyone and always continue to learn and be open-minded, be willing to change your opinion on things, and, do your own research. Don't just read one article and believe that, kind of read 2 or 3, because you never know what narrative someone's trying to push. So.
And be kind.
Yep.
You may not like what the person thinks, but you don't need to be very, very cruel.
Nope. Yeah. People can disagree on things. We don't have to all agree on everything.
No.
It's, more or less, if you use common sense to find a middle ground, you can tend to solve a lot of issues that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, peace.
Peace.